Okay. All right, so now that we're all in, all the council members, we will commence the April 7th, the City of West Sacramento City Council and West Sacramento Redevelopment Successor Agency and West Sacramento Financing Authority. So we will proceed with the Pledge of Allegiance, which is a video recording of our West Sac Little League Dodgers to commemorate our Little League opening. Mr. Clerk, please play the video.
I'm getting there. I had it. Did you hear it? I shared my screen with it.
Oh, no, I didn't. It didn't show up.
Okay, let me try it again.
Is this Janet?
Yeah, I had it on my bottom part of my screen, but now I'm show all windows. No. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna try again, all right?
Okay.
Share.
Well, he looks adorable. We can't hear him though.
All right, sorry about that. You want me to try it and see if we can add the volume? Okay.
We got the point.
We figured out what he was doing.
Exactly. Okay, so pursuant to the Governor's Executive Order N-29-20, members of the West Sacramento City Council and staff will participate in this meeting via Zoom. To reduce the spread of COVID-19, members of the public are asked to watch the meeting via live stream on the city's website or wave cable. And we will have live public comment, and we will continue to receive written comments. We received quite a few tonight. And all comments received by 5:30 will be provided to the City Council and posted on the website as well. Okay. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. To provide a live comment during the meeting, join the meeting using the Zoom meeting hyperlinked to the phone number listed on the city's website and the City Council's agenda. I'll request a public comment during item 1A and prior to the first item on consent and after the staff presentation for any item on the agenda. Once I've announced the public comment period, if you would like to make a public comment, please do one of the following. If you are joining the meeting via Zoom, press the raise hand button. Or if you are joining the meeting by phone, press *9 when it is your turn to comment, and the clerk will call you by name or phone number and will unmute your microphone. Each person will be allowed 3 minutes. The city clerk will notify you when you have 30 seconds and remaining to wrap up your comments. And once your 3 minutes or your public comment has ended, you will be muted again. You may also join by phone at 1-669-900-9128. And the ID number to join is 920-9564-2935, and the passcode is 004264. And we met in closed session. And Mr. Mitchell, can you share with us the council actions taken today?
Certainly. Council did meet in closed session today to confer with its real property negotiators concerning the 2 items of real property listed in the agenda. No action was taken.
Okay, thank you. And are there any presentations by the public on matters not on the agenda? Mr. Clerk? Anything in writing or anybody wishing to speak right now?
There were 2 items that came in for 1A, and they're posted to the webpage.
Okay, great. Thank you. And next is ARC let's see, council communication assignments. And are there any? Yes, Councilmember Alcala.
Thank you, Mayor. Excuse me. I have Zooms unfortunately going all over my house, so I hope I can be heard. I attended the March 25th meeting of LAFCO, and I'll just point out some things that were occurring. The YOLO United Against Hate Leader Summit was organized by LAFCO and attended by 87 local city, school, and county leaders. The video is available on the Davis Media Action Access Network, and you can request it if you'd like to see it. Also, LAFCO has been involved with the county's fire protection district sustainability ad hoc meetings, and this impacts West Sacramento because the city firefighters are frequently called out to respond to emergencies in rural areas for mutual aid, and hopefully this process will help mitigate the impact to the city. Also, there has been a renewed interest by all of Yolo County because we have monies coming in from the Biden administration on broadband access for our cities. And we actually have a series of webinars called Webinars on Building Equitable Economies. And they will be addressing funding, governance, and providing information on how cities are joining together to get free internet for their communities. And then I attended also on behalf of Councilwoman Orozco, her committee, which is the Committee to Address Homelessness, Executive Committee to Address Homelessness. And they were very impressed with the way West Sacramento has operated Project Room Key. They are now focusing from the ongoing rental assistance that's been the best solution to homelessness to now trying to permanent housing becoming the new focus. And they further spoke about the COVID outreach. And West Sacramento, unfortunately, is the city that is most in need of having people vaccinated. So there is a very concerted effort to make sure that we are reaching populations such as the Russian population. Many of the most densely populated areas that have not been vaccinated are on the north side. So Holy Cross will be having a vaccination clinic, and we have reached out to many individuals that are incredible community activists, such as Maria and Jose Garcia, hoping that they can reach out to more families so that they can get their vaccinations. People like Forest Gardens, who also has an incredible outreach in the community, and also Ben Chavez from Holy Cross, who has an incredible network. So we are hoping that they will be assisting, and they have been, as far as I know, very active getting out there in the community, making phone calls, and actually knocking on a few doors to make certain that we're getting as many people vaccinated here on the north side of town as possible. And I also attended the 2x2, but Mayor, I'll leave that, the 2x2 with the city and the school district, but I'll leave that to you to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Alcala. Mayor Pro Tem Ledesma.
Thank you. A couple of things to report on. First, just last Thursday, attended the SACOG Transportation Committee, and some very important, very good news being voted on in that meeting as SACOG voted towards various subjects regarding funding and grant applications through the regional and statewide programs that they have available. So 3 specific projects received funding. First, Sycamore Trail Phase 2, 3, and that's the bicycle and pedestrian overcrossing extension. That got funded through the Active Transportation Program, Active Transportation Program funding grant program. The I Street deck conversion also got funded, and then the Sacramento Avenue Complete Streets Corridor Improvement Plan. That one got funded. So all in, 3 really good projects that are really benefit the active transportation plans, and that is the bicycle pedestrian friendly stuff. I really want to take a moment because part of the discussion in that transportation plan committee meeting was around the process. And I could forward on the list of projects that were funded, and some of this was augmented by some of the COVID relief money that came in. But SACOG looks at projects from all over the region, cities and counties all submitted projects to be thought through. And there was a very rigorous process put in this year to really evaluate how these programs stack up to regional goals, SACOG goals, and statewide goals. And ours fared very well. Ours scored very well on those levels. And that's a real credit to our staff. And so I'll take a moment just to thank, I know Jason McCoy and others in our city staff did a really good job at preparing these grants. And these were months, not years ago, in planning and getting ready for this. So, and the part of the process was a sort of a pre-questionnaire to make sure these were kind of cared for. There were some cities and counties that got $0 out of this funding. And we our 3 major projects really got fully funded. So on their requests. So again, a real credit to our team. These are really, all 3 of them are, in their own way, are transformative to the I Street deck conversion to keep active transportation another way for our residents to get across the river. It's really important, especially in the northern part of town. On I Street deck, the Sycamore Trail, which again is a more bike pedestrian active travel from on both sides of the canal, which is and the freeway, which is hugely important. And then of course Sacramento Avenue as they begin planning the complete streets in that area. So just thanks to the staff and kudos to all of you for the hard work you put into these applications. So that was the Transportation Committee. Those can now go on as the recommendations go from the Transportation Committee to the full SACOG board. I think, Mary, you'll be voting on that. I think the next meeting. So we don't see any things tend to continue on from there. So a really good start, and thanks staff for continuing that sort of approach to our grant writing, because it works and it continues to help us build our infrastructure. So that was the Transportation Committee last Friday the 1st. Earlier this evening, had a meeting of the Sacramento Yellow Port District Commission Board of Directors. There was a closed session, which no report out of activity on that. And then, but there was an approval consent agenda item on the consideration of expenditures for ongoing rail-related legal services as the port continues to work on rail-related items and legal support. So again, those are that's the only 2 items I had for tonight.
Right. Thank you, Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Ledesma. Okay, no other reports. Thank you, Councilmember Alcala. The city and school 2x2 did meet this last Monday, and we had a number of presentations. We did have a presentation by Tracy Michael, the Bright Park Master Plan update, which was very informative, and there's definitely a shared interest utilizing school property and areas around the Bright Park area for our youth. And also received or exchanged information on summer enrichment opportunities, and had a chance to be able to exchange ideas with our new superintendent, Dr. Hildreth, about some ideas she has and what we can do to improve resources and after school and enrichment resources for our youth. I think a survey is going to be going out to see what is interesting and our Parks and Rec department is going to be working pretty hard in gathering those ideas and rolling that out, hopefully soon, citywide. And also, we had a discussion on the return to school opening update, and it was a robust discussion. There were a lot of comments that we received, many which were interested in a full reopening. And some of the feedback I received as far as the challenges is, the teachers can be stretched pretty thin, and providing a hybrid model for the percentage of youth that are still interested in the distance learning and those that are interested in attending in-person school setting. And so I think there is like 40 days left in school, and it's 2 months, but 40 days left. And they are planning on continuing a summer education program that'll probably be up to 6 weeks. I think it's ordinarily 4 weeks, and they're going to extend it for 2 more weeks for help to those that are struggling with school, and just to kind of provide that additional connection with youth. So they're definitely interested in making sure there's excellence in the academics that are being provided. And full reopening this fall, from what I think they're planning so far. In addition, we received a presentation from my intern from Portland University, Maureen Paley, regarding at-risk youth and what she learned and gathered from various organizations in Yolo County on what we can provide as far as additional support for our at-risk youth here in West Sacramento, which is mentorship, job opportunities, and wraparound services, which we can partner with our county. So those are some of the things that she found to be some unmet needs in that at-risk youth population. So we're going to just see what we can do to do more outreach to them as well. In addition, March 18th, SACOG Board of Directors met, and we approved the programming of the federal fiscal year 2021 apportionments of Federal Transit Administration. And this is, they are now available for programming actions by the board. And we also approved the Local Transportation Fund findings of apportionment for fiscal year 2021-22. Each year, the county auditor controllers in Sacramento, Sutter, Yolo, and Yuba counties provide local transportation sales tax revenue estimates to SACOG, and SACOG staff uses these revenue estimates to calculate proposed funding allocations to each city, county, and transit agency within the 4-county region. And Yolo County is at 13 million, and for West Sacramento, it's 3.2 million. We also approved Federal Transit Administration Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act stimulus funding programming for the SACOG region. And we approved the State Transit Assistance Fund allocation for fiscal year 2021-22. Each year, the state controller publishes estimates of sales revenues for the State Transit Assistance Fund, and SACOG staff uses the revenue estimates to calculate proposed funding allocations to each city, county, and transit agency, which are then approved by the SACOG Board of Directors. And we also had a couple of other receipts for other regions other than funding allocations besides West Sacramento. We had a robust discussion on SACOG's new charge for the Race, Equity, and Inclusion Working Group. And the discussion was around SACOG rules, what our policy priorities will be to address race, equity, and inclusion for housing, transportation, and other areas. So there's going to be a work group that will convene and selected by the chair, and that'll be going on through the next year. In addition, we received a very interesting presentation on the 2021 Mega Region Working Group and Board Workshop. And so we have Don Saylor and Lucas Frericks, who are participants of this Mega Region, which is to provide rail and rail passageways all throughout the region. And I got to say, it was very enlightening. I recommend anybody to go in and take a look at that presentation, which is taped, because the mapping shows how, we may not be completely connected today, but if we land, some rail lines, you could get, as far out as like San Francisco, Los Angeles, different areas. It's just fascinating. So recommend you take a look at that because we have some great plans for the future. And we're all excited to see Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who is working closely with our mayors and looking at how to partner with us and with the Biden administration. In a meeting I had with the U.S. Conference of Mayors with the secretaries of labor, who talked about the Biden administration's interest in working with the cities and the mayors. And so we're very pleased to have that interface in those discussions to be able to see how the American Rescue Plan is going to be helping us in the future. And it's going to be bringing in jobs and boost our economy. So looking forward to addressing those issues in the future. And that concludes my presentation. Next is our consent agenda. Are there any requests to remove any item? I do have one that I'll be removing, which is item number 9. Have a presentation for that. Are there any other items to remove on the consent agenda?
Yes, sir. It was just 9 for me.
Okay.
Yes, Mayor. This is Louis from the City Clerk's office. I just wanted to bring back. Yeah, I just wanted to bring to your attention the memo I forwarded to your attention earlier, pulling item 4 from the agenda tonight. I'm sure you recall that.
Thank you so much. I do recall that. Item 4, we received a number of public comments and it will be removed from the agenda. And I do have a question to our city attorney. Under item 4, we do have some written comments. If there's live public comment, do we receive that public comment today or do we hold off until it comes back?
Madam Mayor, this is Amanda. But actually, the memo earlier today was we are moving item 4 to the April 21st meeting. So we're pulling it from the agenda for tonight.
And the question still stands.
Yeah. So you have my suggestion would be if there are speakers who wish to speak on the item, you can either suggest to them that they come back when the item is brought back, or if they're on and they want to speak, you could allow them to speak on the item. You'll need a motion to continue the item.
Okay. And so maybe
I think that this is continued to a date uncertain. Amanda,
I think Amanda just said April 21st, right?
Oh, April 21st. Okay. So we are continuing at April 21st. You can either invite people to come back on April 21st. Okay. But I would
this is Aaron. If I could chime in there, it's our goal is to bring it back on April 21st. It is a to be determined, but that is our goal for April 21st. There will be more information included with that item at that time. So my suggestion would be to take up the comments when we bring it back, because we're actually asking to remove it from the agenda completely.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you. And Mayor Pro Tem Ledesma?
Yeah, I'm off mute. Okay, so yeah, Madam Mayor, I would agree, and I'll with the city manager's recommendation and move this item to a date certain, which is what were you saying, the 21st?
Whenever to be determined.
That's correct.
That's second.
21st.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take that up. I think when we take up the consent, we'll remove it and then do it that way. I think that makes it a little cleaner, right?
Yeah.
At this point.
Yes.
Okay, good. And then I have a request to remove item number 2. So we'll start with that. Item number 2, I do have a question on item number 2. Can you give me a little background on, I think Ms. Wallace, you're there. Great, thank you. So can you give me a little background on this particular issue here? I know it's only to address, Horizon Water is to address the study on the bird surveys and cultural resource studies. But around that, what is all of this particular? Can you give me a little background on the project?
Sure. We're replacing water lines in the State Streets neighborhood, and we did an environmental report. And the environmental report put together some mitigation measures. And so one of the mitigation measures that always shows up in the city of West Sacramento is cultural resources. And that's where we work with the tribes to make sure that our crews are trained to identify anything that we find and call in the tribe or whoever we need to call and have a plan for if we find anything like that. Now, the bird surveys are because State Streets has those lovely large trees and it's nesting season. So we have a certified biologist go out and she checks and does monitoring if there's any nesting birds in the area that may be endangered. So ones that we've found are Swainson's hawk and red-tailed hawk, which are in the neighborhood that are nesting. So when we're nearby, we have the monitor out there to make sure that we're not bothering them and we're not chasing away from their nests.
Okay, thank you so much. That helps a lot to understand that. Thank you. Okay, and then item number 9, just want to, we have two, I think 3 actually. We have 3 people here, and I'll go through the presentation today. I'm honored to be presenting the proclamation declaring April 2021 as Child Abuse Prevention Month. And as a social worker and advocate for child abuse prevention resources, I work for them on behalf of Los Angeles County in collaboration with my statewide partners. You know, we know the challenges counties and local programs face to address the daunting task of addressing child abuse in our community. And the effects is long-lasting and far-reaching, from the child who is harmed and or killed, and the parents struggle, you know, with who are struggling being parents or caring for their children, social workers who are interacting with families and helping them, teachers who are, usually are, first ones to report seeing the children on a regular basis, our medical professionals, and our first responders who have come to the aid of those who have been harmed. So I'm really grateful for the work Yolo County has achieved over the years through our partners, championed by our county supervisors who helped preserve, like our Yolo Crisis Nursery, who advocate strongly for our Yolo County court-appointed special advocates, our county Department of Health and Human Services, Karen Larson and her team, and also our Child Abuse Council, who have just recently released some new resources. And our goal collectively is prevention and empowering families and giving resources and tools to prevent abuse. And that's our goal. And so on behalf of the City of West Sacramento, I present our proclamation, which states, whereas child abuse and neglect continue to pose serious threats to our nation's children, and where adverse childhood experiences such as physical, emotional, and sexual abuse, neglect, and parental stress or illness can have short and long-term outcomes, including a multitude of health and social problems, and early evidence-based prevention and intervention efforts are less costly than trying to fix the adverse effects of child maltreatment, both human and financial terms. Whereas preventing child abuse and neglect is a community issue, and we all have the responsibility to nurture and protect our children and help ensure that they become healthy and productive adults. And whereas the Child Abuse Prevention Council of Yolo County, a Yolo County Children's Alliance program, works to coordinate community efforts to prevent and respond to child abuse and neglect. And where CAPC partners with the following agencies and organizations: Communicare Health Centers, Empower Yolo, First 5 Yolo, West Sacramento Police Department, Yolo County Court-Appointed Specialists, Yolo County District Attorney's Office, the Multidisciplinary Interview Center, Yolo County Health and Human Services, the Child and Family Youth and Family Branch, and Community Health Branch, and Yolo County Office of Education and Yolo County Probation, whereas West Sacramento and whereas the West Sacramento recognizes many parents who have lost jobs and income due to the COVID-19 pandemic may be feeling overwhelmed and strained, whereas children are especially vulnerable to the stresses of health risks, school closures, isolation, and economic instability in their families. And whereas the people of West Sacramento are encouraged to strengthen families and support child abuse prevention activities in their communities by engaging with new YCCA CAPC campaign Strong Families YOLO at the www.strongfamiliesyolo.org, a new website with hundreds of resources and practical ideas divided into 15 different roles, including, and whereas the West Sacramento has a commitment to children and families and will work to ensure children are safe and cared for and have adequate economic opportunities for them within the city. Now, therefore, be it hereby proclaimed that the City Council of the City of West Sacramento hereby does recognize the month of April 2021 to be Child Abuse Prevention Month, proclaimed this day. So I'd like to bring in Katie Villegas, Director of Yolo County Children's Alliance, and she'll be joined with Vanessa, with the Child Abuse Prevention Program Manager, who will be presenting an initiative to provide our community with tools via their website, and our own chief, Rob Strange, who will be sharing his involvement in the development of this initiative. And because our city has been the hardest hit by child abuse events, his effort to enhance outreach and prevention is just to be highly acknowledged for our most vulnerable children and families. So we'll start with Katie. Katie, thank you for being here today. And I know you're around there somewhere. I can't see your screen on, but I think if we can have the clerk highlight Katie on the screen.
My connection isn't working. I'm not even sure if my voice is being heard.
I could hear you. I could hear you well. Go ahead.
Awesome. The link didn't work, so I'm doing it on my phone, but actually I'm just here to support Vanessa Batres, who's our new Child Abuse Prevention Coordinator, and welcome our new board member, Chief Strange. He's been awesome. And a special shout out to Karina Orozco, who was our chair for so many years and really led the effort and collaborated with us on child abuse prevention efforts all throughout Yolo County. But with that, I'll just turn it over to Vanessa.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Mayor Guerrero. So my name is Vanessa Batres, and I am the Child Abuse Prevention Council Program Manager. And on behalf of the Yolo County Child Abuse Prevention Council, the CAPC, and Yolo County Children's Alliance, YCCA, I thank you so much for supporting children and families today and all the work that you do. The CAPC and YCCA are very excited to share with you the new website, Strong Families Yolo. This website was created by Yolo County Children's Alliance, YCCA, as a project of the Yolo County Child Abuse Prevention Council, the CAPC. It encourages everyone to play a part in caring for Yolo children and strengthening Yolo families. Whatever our role in our community, friend, educator, business owner, parent, person of faith, there are always ways we can support children and families in Yolo County. This website also offers resources for everyone so we can learn how to recognize, intervene, and report child abuse and neglect. The website is available in different languages at www.strongfamiliesyolo.org. And again, thank you for recognizing April as Child Abuse Prevention Month and for all the work that you do and for acknowledging this important website.
Thank you, Vanessa. Chief Strange?
Yes, thank you for acknowledging my role. And I'll be honest with you, I was approached by the CAPC members a few months ago and asked to join. And it was a little intimidating because this is a powerhouse of people that are experts in the field of trying to protect the children in our community. And so I was honored and quickly accepted. The reality is my prior work did have me exposed to a lot of these great public health professionals and the folks out there fighting on behalf of our communities and the most vulnerable in our communities. So my involvement in the Fetal Infant Mortality Review Board, Child Death Review Board, and the Maternal Mental Health Collaborative really exposed me not only to these great folks, but to the efforts underway. And it gave me a vision for how we can try to get upstream, because the reality was, in my prior role, and unfortunately here in the city of West Sacramento, we have endured far too much tragedy involving our kids. And this tool that is launched now as part of this campaign is amazing in that it is not just for first responders or mandated reporters. It's actually for wherever you're situated in the city. And I know even as recent as in the last couple of months when we experienced yet another tragedy where a child died at the hands of an adult, This is a tool where we can turn people that want to do something to help, and they can see where from their role in the community, they actually can contribute to making things better and hopefully making things safer for kids in the future. I know that when it comes to issues of kids, all 4 of you on council are amazingly supportive. And so I appreciate that. And I know on behalf of the CAPC, we all appreciate your commitment to causes like this. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Strange and Vanessa and Katie, and all the work you've been doing to make this possible, and everything we can do to partner with you. Like Chief Strange said, we are everybody on council is very supportive in their role and in their profession as well. And now I invite my council members to join in providing any comments or share their thoughts. Councilmember Roscoe.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I've presented this item for the last 4 years, but appreciate it every year that we've had this proclamation before us. As Katie mentioned, I was the former chair of the Yolo County Children's Alliance board, and really appreciate the work of this organization. Vanessa, welcome aboard, and thank you for your presentation tonight. I'd like to thank Councilmember Alcala for attending the Executive Commission on Homelessness meeting on my behalf last week. I have been in jury trial, which feels like forever, but just got verdicts today on a child abuse case, and favorable verdicts, which I'm happy to say, just in case you're wondering, because these cases are important to all of us. I mean, it might be my career, but it's I think these cases touch every single family that cares to protect children. When we presented this the last time we were here, it was on the onset of COVID. And I had said at that time that we were already getting, serious child offenses, that they were becoming less and less reported. Largely the physical abuse cases aren't getting reported because the teachers didn't have their eyes on the kids at the time in order to detect those indicia that would be the giveaway showing that there's something going on that might be unhealthy. And, I work with the Sexual Assault Forensic Abuse Center. It's our SAFE Center. And we've been putting up 450 pinwheels in honor of Child Abuse Prevention Month. We don't know if the underreporting, because it looks like the reports have been going down. We don't know if it's a result of underreporting or just the reduction of these kinds of cases. But once kids go back to school, there might be an onset or an increase of reports once they have the local channels, the regular channels of reporting that they can, access. What we've been seeing is a rise in reports of Zoom, actually reports of people, kids would be on Zoom in their classroom and teachers will overhear, fighting in the background or threats and things like that. So, we get these reports from CPS and, some of which are we follow up with if it rises to that level. But I think it's really important for us to acknowledge, as the mayor said, that there are stressors in our environment that have been exacerbating the potential for abuse. And with fewer eyes on abuse, it's really hard to acknowledge it and to active intervention. So first off, I just want to say thank you for the work of our community partners, just like YCCA and our law enforcement officers and first responders, is represented by our new chief of police. Congratulations, Rob Strange, who is a huge champion of youth initiatives and programs aimed at ensuring the health and well-being of our children. And thank you for joining our CAPC. Also, I just wanted to remind those people who might be viewing this meeting that, as a community, we can do great things together. The fact that we've passed this proclamation is one step, but, as parents, we could look in on other parents and offer help or bundle responsibilities or just lend support. To check in with the kids that maybe they're playing with your kids, just check in on them, make sure that they have a safe space or channel to connect for outreach or reporting. and maybe, create a support network with neighbors, in your community, on your block or in your apartment complex, because building community and having the connection would not only lessen the impact on parents, but also maybe give children the, appropriate, trusting adult that maybe they would choose to report to. And then also finally, just, we don't think about it this way, but if you just donate directly, clothing, furniture, toys, these are things that can really relieve the stress of financial burdens on other parents. And sometimes we just give to the Goodwill, but then they still have to go and buy it back. And finally, I'd say volunteering time and money for programs like YCCA and other local nonprofits that are in this type of work. And I'll just put a little plug right now. On the 25th, there's going to be a West Sac Girls Give Back event and West Sac Kids Give Back event, where folks can donate hygiene products for people in need in the community. And these are things that we don't know how it all turns out at the end, but it does really make a mark on and impacts certain folks' lives. And so thank you again, Mayor Guerrero, and for Vanessa and Chief Strange for your presentations. It's always wonderful to hear all of the positive things that we're doing. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Orozco. Mayor Pro Tem Ledesma?
Yeah, just real quickly, just Vanessa, a welcome to the community, and thank you in advance for your work in this important area. And Chief Strange and Katie, both of you, thank you for your participation, but more importantly for your leadership in these areas. This is our annual reminder of this important initiative and our role in ensuring, as both the mayor and my colleague, Councilman Orozco, has brought up, all of us have a responsibility in sort of understanding this issue and how we can impact and how we can kind of keep an eye out for our neighbors or for our kids and our friends of kids. And so it's an important part of what we do in sending that message and making sure the message out. More importantly, it's important to have great leadership like all of you, and Katie, thank you for your continued leadership in supporting the children in Yolo County and West Sacramento. Just really want to thank you for your leadership in this area, and anything I can do or we can do collectively as a council to further this. I'm sure we'll all be welcome and welcome that offer. So thank you again.
Thank you. Councilmember Alcala?
Thank you. Thank you for bringing the resolution forward, Mayor, and thank you to everyone who tries to protect our children. It occurs to me sometimes that, we have some great safety nets there, but as it has been mentioned, I think sometimes we're hesitant to get involved. I know I've been at the store sometimes and parents get frustrated. Doesn't mean they're necessarily going to hurt their children, but it's important for us, to be on that alert. I remember when I was much younger, when I was a young child, we had neighbors where the children were being hurt and people were hesitant to say anything. We would have the police show up and, everything was, quote, quiet at that point. Unfortunately, sometimes it's the death that really sort of, brings us to some sort of action. So as a community member, all I can say is, if you do hear something, I think it's really important that we alert our police, that we alert our schools, that we alert someone. But the silence is what I see can be a really big problem and can be deadly if we don't take some sort of action. So thank you for all the work that you do, Chief, and thank you, Councilmember Orozco. I know that this is your life's work. And yes, let's not be silent when we know something has to be said. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, everybody. And just want to, again, share my appreciation for all your hard work and your dedication, and reminding us, especially during the month of April, wearing our blue today to signify our support for your work and doing what we can to continue to do more outreach and education. And with that, I'll accept a motion with the amendment.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, and is that the motion with the amendment to remove item 4 and for
Yes.
a date to be determined? Okay, second, and then so Councilmember Orozco moved and Mayor Pro Tem Ledesma seconded. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Orozco,
Aye.
Councilmember Ledesma,
Aye.
Councilmember Alcala,
Aye.
Mayor Guerrero.
Aye.
That's carried.
Thank you so much. Next, we'll move to our time set time set agenda item, which is actually it's not time set, but it is on our regular agenda. Consideration of Resolution 21-29 approving exception to the 180-day waiting period to hire CalPERS retired annuitant in accordance with Government Code Section 7522.56 and 21224. I have Ms. Montez who's going to be presenting, or is it Montez or Ms. Rapier?
Yes. Hi. Good evening, Mayor. This is Caitlin.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Staff is respectfully recommending that the City Council approve Resolution 21-29, approving the exemption to the 180-day waiting period set by CalPERS to hire a retired annuitant as an extra help employee. And I will take any questions if you have them.
Are there any questions from anybody on council? Nope. Okay. Open it up for public comment. Any public, Mr. Clerk, anything from written or anybody online today for public comment?
There's no written item or item for this. I've got 4 people in the queue, but nobody's raising their hand, so I'm not sure what they're going to be commenting on.
Okay. Thank you. And I will close the public comment on this. And we'll take it back to council. Any other comments or questions? Okay, then with that, I'll accept a motion to approve.
So moved.
All right, Councilmember Orozco moved.
Second.
Councilmember Orozco seconds. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Orozco,
Aye.
Councilmember Ledesma,
Aye.
Councilmember Alcala,
Aye.
Mayor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion
Okay,
carried.
thank you so much. Item is approved. And next we'll move to our council calendar.
Mayor and council, no report for me tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. City manager's report.
Nothing tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. City attorney report.
Nothing tonight.
All right, staff direction from city council members. None? Okay, future agenda item request by council. I don't see any in the agenda we received, and I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
A second.
Okay, Councilmember Orozco moved, Mayor Pro Tem Ledesma seconds. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Orozco,
Aye.
Councilmember Ledesma,
Aye.
Councilmember Alcala,
Aye.
Mayor Guerrero.
Aye. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.